I don't feel like expending the mental energy to socialize. It's the socializing part of friendship that I find so exhausting. Make it make sense. Why do I want to make friends? I got testing. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, Glory in her 40s, where I share my life as a late diagnosed autistic woman, navigating everyday life, real moments, fitness, health, all the good stuff, I'm working on that. I have to shut my heater off because pretty sure you can hear it. If you live in the Northeast or in a cold climate, these little desktop heaters are the best thing in the world. They are so good, but you can hear it in the background, so I'm gonna shut it off. Ready? You could probably still hear my computer though. There's nothing I can do about my computer. I need it on. So this is a video that I've been wanting to make for quite some time. I was inspired to create this video, but after watching a video by a beautiful creator called Isabella, and her video was titled, "I'm 41 and I have no real friends. I know why and I'm okay with that." Immediately the title, I was like, yes, I'm in there. And I watched the video and so many of her points really hit home for me and inspired me to create my own version of that video. As someone with no real I have acquaintances. I don't want to make it seem like I don't know people and I'm just a hermit in my house. I'm married. I've been with my husband for 17 years. We met on Plenty of Fish in 2007 and we were together for 12 years before we got married. So we've only been married for 5 years, but together 17. This is our 18th year together. So he is literally my best friend. I know a lot of people say that in the relationships. And my partner's my best friend, and it's so corny. No, he is though. He is. So I'm good. Like I don't feel like I'm missing anything, but at the same time I do, and that's what we're here to discuss. Side note, speaking of my husband, I told him that I was making this video about me being a woman in my 40s and not having any real friends. And his first response to me was, "What are you talking about? You have tons of friends." He's talking about like people online. To my husband, like people that I talk to online are considered friends. And he's like, "What do you," to him, he just doesn't get it. Do you ever feel like keeping in touch with people is more of a chore than a joy? Keeping a friendship alive is harder than starting one. I personally don't have that much of a hard time talking to people, but getting past surface level is like, that's where I drop off completely. Have you ever felt like you want close friends, but the idea of constant communication kind of feels like too much? Like it feels almost overwhelming and just like too much work, you know what I mean? Then you feel guilty about not being a better friend even though you're just trying. And I'm talking to someone who's autistic. Why does every "hey, we should hang out" text feel like a promise that I'm almost definitely going to break? I'm sorry if I keep switching side to side like this. I'm learning that I find it impossible to just sit still and look at a camera. Is that a neurodivergent thing? Because, okay, I think it's because it's kind of uncomfortable for me to kind of be putting myself out there like this in this vulnerable way. So I'm self-soothing in a way by rocking in my chair like a child. Please, if it drives you crazy, just look away. Just listen to my words. I'm sure I'll find something here. I'll say something here that you might relate to. Give me a chance. At 45, I've realized that I don't have any close friends, or I mean, I have friends. I feel like I have to keep reiterating that because my friends are gonna watch this and be like, "What the fuck? We chop liver?" And I say we, I mean like one or two people. Sorry, the cat's fighting. It's not because I don't want close friends. It's because maintaining friendships for me feels like chore. It feels like work. If any of this sounds familiar to you, come sit by me. Let's chat. Grab a drink. I have my tea. And let's figure out what the fuck. Okay? Maybe we can figure out what the fuck together. Just know that if we exchange numbers, I'm probably not going to respond to your text for at least 3 weeks. Don't get mad at me. So as I head into 2025, I've set a goal for myself to make and nurture at least one friend outside of my marriage. Like I said before, my husband is my best friend. I'm not lacking in that type of companionship because he's it. But I just feel like I need something outside of that. You know? It's not just about wanting a friend. It's about showing up for myself. And why am I so fidgety? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I fidget, I talk with my hands. It's not just about wanting a friend, it's about showing up for myself and proving once again that I can step out of my comfort zone to create something meaningful. My whole life is me stepping out of my fucking comfort zone. So as I started reflecting as to why I don't have any friends, I realized that this isn't a new thing for me. It's been a pattern throughout my whole life, and one that makes more sense now that I know that I'm autistic. It explains everything. Growing up, my family moved from Puerto Rico. I was born in Puerto Rico. We moved to the mainland when I was 5. At that time, my mom had 10 brothers and sisters, lots of cousins, and they all moved up here with us, and we all lived within close proximity of each other. So my cousins were my friends and they were my safe zone. We were all around the same age, and I was just always over their house, never over my house. I never noticed that. They were never over my house. I was always over theirs because they had multiple siblings around the same age, and I'm the youngest of my 3 siblings. My 2 siblings, 2 older siblings. I'm the baby, so I would go to their house. Outside of that, I never really connected with anyone. I did have a downstairs neighbor who I actually hung out with quite a bit. Her and I connected, but outside, like that was it for me. I loved school and I was very bookish, but I was always called weird, and I never understood why. I thought it was because I was learning English, or maybe my English wasn't that great. But after my English became great and I was fluent, I was still called weird over, growing up. So like no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't fit in. So looking back, I relied on my Nintendo and my books. That was my life. If I wasn't with my cousins, which didn't happen very often because we didn't live close enough that I could just walk to their house, it was when family events and stuff. So I read a lot, which I think that helped me learn English faster. I love to read. It was a great escape for me. And I loved playing video games, something that I still do to this day. Those were my comfort and my escape, my books and my Nintendo. My life growing up was slightly chaotic, and then looking back, when I now know that I've been autistic and I was autistic, and it just explains so much. For example, when I was 11 years old, my mom went to prison for selling cocaine. She never did drugs, not anything like that. She just sold large amounts of cocaine, and one of her customers snitched on her. He got caught, so he snitched on her so he can get a lighter sentence, and they literally threw the book at her. I'll put a quick snapshot of the newspaper article from that. When that happened, I was thrown into a whirlwind. Like my life got flipped upside down. Before that, it was just my mom and I. We had moved into our own apartment. My brother and my sister moved out, and I don't even know where they went. My sister got her own place. I don't know where the hell my brother went. And so it was just my mom and I, and she was making bank as a drug dealer. I'm not gonna lie. Like she became quite big. So we were living a nice, sweet little life, my mom and I, in a little condo with a pool. It was great. I was doing good in school. I was high honor roll. My life was finally felt stable, finally. And then that happened and everything just, it's like the only way I can visualize is like cards being thrown in the air. That's what it felt like to me. I still to this day remember when my downstairs neighbor from the Punto, the drug house that my mom, she kept 2 apartments. One was our abode and then the other one was the drug house, the Punto. The downstairs neighbor from the Punto, I was coming back from the store and she approached me. I still remember this moment vividly. It's amazing how these moments get seared into your brain to tell me that my mom had been arrested. And I knew immediately. Like, I just remember collapsing. I dropped the candy that I had and collapsed because I knew that was, even at 11 years old, I knew that was the end of everything. I knew that what my mom and the large amounts of, I mean, I used to help my mom bag up the cocaine, okay? Big bowl, white salad bowl filled with cocaine. We used to bag up dime bags. So I knew that it was not good. And it wasn't. I moved in with my older sister. She tried to take me in. I went from the bookish, nerdy, video game playing, quiet little girl to, mind you, I was 11. So there's 12 and then 13 to a rebellious teenager. I couldn't even tell you what happened to me. Aside from the fact that my mom went to jail and my world was flipped upside down, I completely became rebellious and it became too much for my sister. My sister at the time was 19. She's a single mom of 2 kids, a college student. So she tried. She could not handle me. I became someone completely different and it was too much for her. So I ended up in the foster care system. She put what was called a CHINS petition on me, which is when the state basically takes custody of you because she just couldn't do it. And my mom at that point had been sentenced to 8 years. At that point she had been sentenced to 5 years mandatory, 15 years total, 5 years mandatory, and ultimately she ended up serving 8. Oddly, foster care was one of the few times I felt like I belonged. We were all misfits, so I felt less out of place. But even then, I struggled to let myself fully connect. I mean, you can blame me. So I ran away from every foster home that I lived in, even the ones that I loved. I was in 7 total foster homes and a group home. And the group home, again, I loved it. I thrived there. I thrived. Again, looking back through autistic eyes, I realized why I thrived in the group home, because it's very, very structured. You wake up, this every minute of your day is structured, and I thrive in that structure. I was so good. I was like I was the shit there, but I ended up running away. It's like two sides, like the angel and the devil. Like, staff was shocked that I ran away. They trusted me enough to go shopping with them, because this is kind of it's a group home, but it's like DYS. I don't know what it's called in another place. It's like a young teenage lockup. So I earned their trust enough to go grocery shopping with them, and during one of those trips I bounced. Peace out. For no reason. I was like, I'm out. I'm done. I just couldn't, for some reason, I wouldn't allow myself to form connections with anyone, despite how much I loved it and I got along with everyone, especially staff. They loved me because I was their golden child. I could only allow myself to get so close, and then I'd be like, I'm out. So that was a fail too. Eventually, my brother decided to take me in, and my brother worked 80, 90 hours a week. I think I was like 15 at the time. I was around 15 at the time. He took me in. He worked all the time. I was going to school, and as soon as, no, I'm sorry. Eventually, my cousin took me in, and again, I loved it with her. Loved it with her. She was awesome. Ran away from her house. My brother took me in. I didn't run away from his house because I ended up ultimately met my son's father, got pregnant, blah, blah, blah. So I kind of stayed put at that point. But in that time, I started hanging out with a group of girls that eventually would become a gang I created. It sounds wild now, but at the time, it felt like I had found my people. These girls, again, all misfits, all coming from broken homes, and we found each other, and now we're just gonna go around and bully everyone. And I was the leader of that. Ultimately, we were all searching for belonging, but for me, it was never enough. No matter where I felt, throughout all these instances, and this is like the most shortened version that I could possibly come up with, and there's so much stuff I left out because this is not about my past, but I'm just trying to paint the picture of who I am as a person, and it's so hard to do that because I feel, sorry, my battery died, and it doesn't I'm looking at the screen and it doesn't warn me and say your battery's gonna die in 2 seconds. No, it just says shut off, goodbye, cut me off halfway, don't even realize what I was saying. Where was I? So yeah, like I was saying, this is the most condensed version of my life that I could possibly give to kind of give you a picture of myself, but there's so much I'm leaving out, so much. But I didn't know. I wanted to give you a background about myself, but it's not about me. It's not about my life growing up, but it's just me wanting to explain a little bit as to why I am the way I am. Very, very, very condensed version. That no matter, like, I feel like I've lived so many different lives, and no matter where I was, even with the misfits, the foster kids and the gang members, the people, those are the ones that I feel to this day that I belonged with the most. Like, I felt the most belonging with. Even with them, I still felt like an outsider looking in. I never fully have felt what it feels like to be a part of something, like really, really be a part of something. So now fast forward to 45, I'm just gonna skip over about 3 lifetimes worth of shit that man, when I tell you, fast forward to 45, I still struggle with maintaining connections. In fact, I feel like I more so now. I feel like when I was younger, no matter how much I felt like an outsider looking in, etc., I don't know, man. I feel like I was more open then than I am now. It's almost like, I know this isn't a thing, but it's almost like my autism has gotten stronger. And I know it's not a thing, especially since as I was trying to come up with an outline for this video, I decided to look that up, and that's really not a thing, which I will get into in a minute. I put a pin in that. I'm going to come back to that. I want friends. I genuinely do want friends, but I don't want the constant effort. making plans feels exciting in the moment until it's time to follow through with them. You know, like in the moment it's exciting and then you start to dread them because it's like it just feels like something you have to do, like an obligation. Well, after looking it up, that's something called pre-event anxiety, where even though you know you would enjoy spending time with someone or going to that event or anything, you know you would and you wouldn't regret going, the mental energy it takes to gear up for it, it feels overwhelming. So in looking stuff up, because I don't want to just tell my story. I want to like provide some insight for myself and for others who may be in the same boat as me. Like, you don't have to be neurodivergent. I feel like there's things here that we all, whether you're neurotypical, neurodivergent or not, we kind of all share. Especially if you're a Gen X or millennial, we kind of there's just certain traits that we all share for some reason. I wasn't gonna look into that because this video would have been like 3 hours long. Like, why do Gen X and millennials have pre-event anxiety? No, we're not doing that. At least not yet. If you want that, let me know, I'll do it. So it wasn't until I learned about concepts like friendship maintenance fatigue, like that's a thing. And it all started to click for me. As an autistic, as an introvert, socializing drains my energy. As an autistic introvert, it's double fold for me. Like it's a lot. I crave meaningful connections, but the thought of constant communication and upkeep feels exhausting. It's not that I don't care. I care very deeply. It's just that my brain and energy don't align with how most friendships work. Just know that I always start with good intentions. But something takes over and then I'm just like, you know what? It's just easier to not even bother. And then so much time has gone by that it's like, what am I supposed to say now? Luckily, the people, my friends that I know, have known for a very long time, they just know this about me, so they accept me like that. But I want something more, but I don't know how to go about it. Outside of my husband, I don't really have friends. I do have friends. If my friends are watching this, don't get mad. I love you. Tifa, you're my girl. You know I love you. And honestly, I realized that's mostly because maintaining friendships feels like a lot of work. I want it to come naturally, but it never does. It wasn't until recently that I learned that there's a term for this experience: friendship maintenance fatigue. I don't know that it's an official thing, but yeah, there's a term for it. There's a term for everything. And it's common for people who are neurodivergent, like me, to feel overwhelmed by the constant effort friendships require. Whether it's social fatigue from being autistic or just not knowing how to juggle life and relationships, it's a struggle. In my effort, because I am the way I am, to figure out how can I make friendships work for me, I decided to look up friendship styles that fit neurodivergent people. And these are some of the ones that came up that tied to me. I'm not going to go through them all because this video would be forever long. I mean, I'll mention the ones that came up because me and ChatGPT had to talk about this. ChatGPT is my girl. And these are the ones that she recommended. And I'll go through them real quick and then I'll talk about the ones that I think I can do. And I haven't come up with a plan on how to implement this. Am I going to do this with new friends or am I going to do this with existing friends that I have? Just put more effort into the friendship. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think what I'm going to do is do this with existing friends that I have but put more effort into the friendship because it's less pressure on me. They already know I'm autistic. They already know how I am. They've accepted me the way that I am. So if they see, I will tell them, honestly, I'm trying, I really would like to make more of an effort because I value you as a friend. Yeah, that's the route that I'm going to take. But these are the friendship types that fit neurotypicals. No, I'm sorry, neurodivergent, low maintenance friendships off the back. That's what I already have. Like I don't even need to read what the description is to know that this is the kind of friendships I already have, and I don't want that. I want a little more. But according to my homegirl GPT, it works because neurodivergent individuals may experience social fatigue or have limited energy for frequent interactions. These types of friendships thrive on mutual understanding and don't require constant communication to remain strong. Those are my friendships. I want something deeper than that. She hooked it up and told me how to nurture this style. Focus on quality over quantity. If this is what you think that you want, focus on quality over quantity. Let friends know that your silence isn't a sign of disinterest. It's just how you function. But this is how my friends, like, these are my friendships. I want something a little bit more than this. So let's move on to the next one. Activity-based friendships. This one has hope. Many neurodivergent individuals struggle with unstructured socializing. Doing something together like playing a game, taking a walk, or working on a project creates a shared focus, which reduces the pressure of constant conversation. This will absolutely work for me. Absolutely work for me. Because part of my issue is, I think part of the reason why friendships exhaust me so much is because it just feels like constant small talk. And then I get to thinking, like, why don't I feel like that with my husband? First of all, he's neurodivergent too. He has ADHD. So that in and of itself, I firmly believe that neurodivergent people just have easier relationships. We just do. Whether it's couples or friendships, any kind of, we just click better with each other. And my husband and I clearly do. I don't feel exhausted being around him because we naturally respect each other's time. His desk is right next to mine here. We'll hang out all day together next to each other and feel like we're spending quality time together, and we'll maybe say 2 to 3 words to each other. We just respect we're just happy to be in each other's orbit without having to be all up in each other's shit, because both of us would be drained by that instantly. Even though he's very much quality time. I'm a quality time. What's the one where you, the touchy feely? He's very touchy feely. I'm not. But even after a while, he would get, like, we would just be annoyed if we're up on each other's shit all the time. So we work because we respect each other's space very much. So I think neurodivergent people just know that about each other, and we kind of just, I don't know, man. It just works. But anyway, suggest activities that align with your interests and comfort zone, whether in person or virtual. This I could do, and I could see myself doing this with my friend Chris. We could go to the library, or he's pretty much down to do whatever. So it, like, we could do something. I don't know that we have much things, activity style things in common. Now that I think about it, I don't know if this would work with Chris, because we just like to talk. We do like to eat. So maybe we can go out to eat. This is one that might work. So you can even do video game. Like, I used to play video games with a friend from Australia. When I used to stream games. Activity-based friendships definitely have promise for me if I don't let the pre-event anxiety we discussed earlier take over. I'm happy to make plans, and in the moment I'm like, yes, absolutely, I will be there. But the closer we get to the day of the plans, the more I'm like, how can I get out of this? I don't want to go. And it has nothing to do with the person. It's all me. I just, in my mind, I'm like, I don't feel like making the mental energy. I'm kind of chilling. I'm chilling at home. I don't feel like expending the mental energy to socialize. It's the socializing part of friendship that I find so exhausting. Make it make sense. So why do I want to make friends when literally friendship is socializing? And I'm like, that's exhausting. Why am I like this? So I'm just gonna have to deploy discipline on this one. That's my solution. ChatGPT didn't tell me to do this. I'm like, how can I overcome this? Deploy discipline. The same way I push myself to work out when I get home from work, when it's the last fucking thing I want to do. I don't think I do. I just do. That's what I need to do here. You make plans, you're sticking with the fucking plans. Deploy discipline. That's how you get past this one. I'll let you know how the fuck I do. First of all, I gotta find friends that is not my husband to do this activity-based thing with. Chris is not a good one for that because we don't have anything that we both enjoy. I mean, I'm sure we could find something, but I don't know. I can't think of anything. I'll let you know. I'm gonna do follow-up videos to this, like, in a couple of months, to let you know how I'm doing. If something happens, I'll do a follow-up video like, hey, I made a new friend, or hey, I'm gonna follow up on this. I'm not just saying that I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna fucking follow up, okay? And if I fail, I'm gonna let you know I fail. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100, but I'm not, excuse me, I am not going to fail. Next one, mutual interest friendships. This is kind of like the activity-based one. Why it works. Shared passions like gaming, books, hobbies, or specific locations or fandoms, etc. can be the foundation of a deep connection without requiring small talk. Socializing. This provides a natural way to bond. Example, joining a book club or attending hobby meetups. I love learning new things, so I would love to take a pottery class. Are you kidding me? That would be freaking awesome. I want to find somebody to take a pottery class with me. I think that would be fun. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do just that. I don't know who I'm gonna go with, but it can't be my husband, because I know if I ask him, he would be down. He's down to do whatever. He doesn't care. But it has to be somebody outside of my relationship. Online communities centered around autism, mental health, or any of my other interests. Other interests of mine are content creating, video gaming, exercise, wellness, weight loss, pretty much anything. But those are the topics that I'm most into. History, historical fiction, like that's my jam. Sewing, it's something I want to learn how to do more of. Anyway, this one has promise. Another one is one-on-one connections. Why it works. Many neurodivergent people prefer deep, meaningful conversations over surface level chatter, which can be hard to achieve in group settings. The issue here is finding a person that you can have that connection with. I mean, I can't just have that connection with just anyone. Like, I have to feel the vibe. And and if I feel the vibe, then I will feel comfortable and we will have I already struggle to feel connections to people. So this one, I don't see it unless I just happen to meet a unicorn out there that we just happen to click like that. This one, I don't see this working for me. If I do though, it will absolutely 1000%. The only reason I say it's not going to work for me is because it's a unicorn. For me to find somebody I connect with like that out there, it's very rare. It's all about vibes with me. It's very rare. And here I'm talking about somebody new, not somebody I already know. Virtual or asynchronous. I'm not even going to try to say that word. Asynchronous, bitch. Asynchronous. Oh my god. Asynchronous? Oh my god. Oh shit. Asynchronous, virtual or synchronous friendships. Why it works. I'm thinking asynchronous. All right. The flexibility of online interactions allows for communication on your terms, avoiding the stress of in-person socializing or immediate responses. I already have this. Like, these are basically the friendships that my husband says I have. My online friends, I have tons of them. Yeah, I talk to a lot of people online because it's very easy for me to be outgoing and friendly and funny and all these things that I am not in person. It's easy for me to do that shit online. In person, I'm like, one-on-one, I'm good. Pero like, oh no. So no, we're not. Screw this one. Goodbye. But if this one's for you, ChatGPT recommends that you nurture this style by being upfront about your preferred ways to communicate. A friend who knows you're better at texting than calling will respect that boundary. My friends all know that. I'm already doing this. It's not working for me. I want something more. This one is basically my marriage. Quiet companionship. My marriage and our life with our cats. It's basically life in this house is quiet companionship. And that's why I love it so much because it works for us. Why it works. Sometimes just having someone present without feeling the need to talk is enough. This is especially true for those who enjoy parallel play, doing separate things together. That is literally me and Joe. And it's phenomenal. I love it. But I need that I want that outside of our marriage. I want a friend that I can have quiet companionship with. That would work. I don't know who. That would be cool. Like, that's one that would work for me. Absolutely. That there's no pressure there there's no pressure. It's just we're keeping each other company. Literally, this is my marriage. And it's beautiful. It works so well for the both of us. But anyway, how to nurture this style. Seek out friends who are comfortable with silence and understand that just being there is valuable to you. Absolutely. That is my marriage. Number 7, empathetic and supportive friendships. Why it works. Neurodivergent individuals may need friends who understand and respect their unique challenges without judgment or excessive pressure to conform. Isn't that every friend though? Now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, that should be every friend. That shouldn't be a friendship type. That should be anyone you consider a friend. Yeah, this one sucks. This should be every fucking friendship. Like if you don't have a friend who actively listens or validates your feelings or can accept your quirks or who you are as a person, what are you doing? What are we doing here? Fuck all the way off. Fuck this one. And then friendship with structure. For those with executive dysfunction or who struggle with initiating plans, having a friend who takes the lead in organizing meetups or events can be a game changer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, if I had a friend who's like, Glory, we're gonna do this on this day, be there or be square. I absolutely will be there. I think this would work for me. Like, for example, a friend who regularly checks in or proposes plans. Yeah, this would work for me because it would pressure me enough in the good way to be like, first of all, to make me feel like I'm wanted there, which is a huge one for me. If they're like, oh, we made these plans and we're counting you in on them, so be there. It makes me feel like I'm genuinely wanted there, and that's huge for me. But also, if I just happen to chicken out, like the pendeja that I am, and I don't end up going to one of them, I will most definitely go to the next one because I will feel bad about not having gone previous. You know what I mean? This would absolutely work for me. Absolutely. But as long as it's a friend that understands how I am and doesn't take it personal if and when I don't show up, is empathetic, like the previous one is an empathetic and understanding friend. That would work for me, absolutely. How to nurture this style if it works for you. Find friends who don't mind taking the initiative and are patient when you're not as responsive. Find the fucking unicorn, basically. So what's the key takeaway here? Neurodivergent friendly friendships thrive on mutual understanding, clear communication, and low pressure. And I say low pressure, but just put just enough, just enough. You got to put just enough, but not too much. If you know, you know. I can't explain it to you. If you know, you know. After doing it, I have more that I wanted to say, but I don't want this video to be too long. So the plan here for me going forward this year, I want to make at least one friend outside of my marriage. One friend, not make or nurture. I think it's gonna be more nurture. I don't know. I don't know that I meet enough people in my day to day, even though I work 2 jobs and one of them is Walmart. So I'm meeting people all the time, but I don't know that I'm meeting people like that to build a new friendship from scratch. So I'm gonna nurture current friendship, because there's only one that I can think of. Because my other one, my friend, she's kind of like me and she lives all the way in East Bumfuck, and there's just no way. She makes less effort than I do, but I've known her since I was 15, so it's like, it's fine. I'm not even gonna, I could try, but I just know how that's gonna go with her. But this is my homie. I just want to say, like, this is somebody that I know for a fact if I needed somebody to bail me the fuck out or be with me on the worst time of my life, she would be there. So she can get away with that. And I've known her since I was 15, like 30 fucking years, so we're good. This is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna nurture an existing friendship, and I'm gonna do that by, what did I say I was gonna do? I'm gonna do that by starting with activity based. I'm gonna ask my friend, I'm gonna explain to him what I want to do, that I want to nurture a friendship, and I value his friendship, and I want to nurture it, and I want to have, like, I want to do things together as friends, and he could bring his wife, and I could bring my husband sometimes, or I could just, you know what I mean? Like, he's my buddy, and I want to do things together. So I'm gonna start with activity-based friendships. What we're gonna do, I don't know, because we can go out to lunch. I know, I don't like going out to eat, though. I have a thing about going out to eat that I don't like. I don't like picnic. We bring food together and do a fucking picnic. Maybe not now because it's winter and it's cold and we're in New Hampshire and I try to freeze my ass off, but I want to do a picnic. That's a great idea. But then after we eat, what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? It's the pressure. It's like, okay, what are we gonna do now? Because I don't want to just sit there. Oh, this is so hard. Guys, give me some ideas, please. Give me some ideas. Because I don't like people coming over. Because then I feel like I have to entertain them, and I hate that. I absolutely hate that. I am not entertaining type. Don't come over my house. This is my happy place. I hate when people come over. Absolutely hate it. Unless somebody else is entertaining at my house and I just have to be part of the people entertained, I don't mind that at all. If you're looking at me to entertain and run shit and make sure people are no, absolutely not. Nope. So help me. Give me some ideas. Activity-based friendships work for me. Mutual interest friendships. I like to play video games. I like to learn to do new things. So I think this one's a good one because I do want to learn pottery. 'Cause I just love learning new things like that, crafty things. So that would be a good one. We have a bunch of cute little things like that in our town. I think that's it. I think that's what we're gonna do. I will do that, and within the next 3 months. I need to set goals with timelines because it'll be fucking December next of 2025, and I'll be like, oh shit, I haven't accomplished that goal yet. So I need to set time within the next 3 months, an activity-based, like mutual interest thing. I'll keep you guys updated. In the meantime, please share in the comments if any of this resonated with you. Please let me know I'm not the only one in her 40s who doesn't have this group of friends that she's had her whole life. Like, I see these women who have had these friends their whole lives, and I'm like so jealous of that. It's like, why can't I have that? Why? And I'm jealous in a good way. I'm not like a hater or anything. I think it's awesome, and I want that for myself, to have friends like that. I want that too. Am I the only one? Thank you so much for listening to me ramble for however long I rambled for. I really appreciate it. I've been wanting to make this video after watching Isabella's video. It's kind of been in the back of my mind this entire time. I'm grateful for her for making that because she opened the conversation of being a woman in your 40s and not having that friendship group, that everybody, it seems like everybody has, and but it's not everybody has that, and that's okay. It's okay to be comfortable in your, I'm comfortable with my husband, but like I said, I want to make a friend outside of my marriage, and that's my goal for this year. As I said, I will follow up and keep you guys updated, and let me know your stories. Do you have lifelong friends? Are you the bitches that I'm jealous of? You have friends that you've had your whole life? Have you had like catastrophic breakdowns of friendships that like completely put you off to making friends, because there's that came up in my research as well. I haven't really had that happen. I think it's because I haven't really let people in like that, and the people that I have let in, I've had shitty friends, but they're more like acquaintances. Nobody's really crushed me in that way. But it happens. I know it happens. Tell me your shitty friend stories. I'd like to know so that I can feel better about myself. Because it's all about me. This is my fucking channel, okay? Thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. As always, thank you for giving me some of your time. Let me know your stories in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. This is a channel where I pretty much just share my life and talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. A lot of it is just vlogging because I'm sharing my life as an autistic woman. But every now and then I want to make these more chatty videos discussing topics that come to mind that I'm inspired by other people's videos, and I think it's awesome. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next video. I don't know what the hell it's gonna be or when the hell it's gonna go up. Mwah. Bye guys.